Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, in this country, there are children diagnosed with rare diseases every day. And while it's a tragedy that anyone's diagnosed with, a disease or cancer in this country, it is a particular tragedy that the youngest in our society are diagnosed with oftentimes incurable diseases and ailments. And so today I rise to support the Kids First Research Act because it's important that we focus our national resources on fixing these problems, these challenges that as a society we can band together and put research dollars where our heart is. And so we all do this in individual ways, whether it's donating to a local charity or focusing our interest in making sure Congress allocates resources necessary to come up with life-saving cures through the National Institute of Health or other areas of government research. But at home, we have something called Brett's Ride for Rhabdo. And it's an incredible story of a young man at age 17 who is diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma. It's a very rare pediatric cancer that roughly 300 children are diagnosed with each year. It's very rare. But this incredible young man named Brett Gosnell was diagnosed at age 17 with this cancer. Now, Brett was an all-American kid from Hickory. And Mary Ann and Mark Gosnell were his parents. He has two younger brothers. And just a great all-American family. And I'm pleased to know the family. And I was pleased to know Brett. Brett was an all-star kid. The kind of young man that I hope to have as my wife and I start a family. But Brett was a very special guy, and the type of kid. He was not pleased with his SAT score when it came to his math SAT score. He got a 740 on the math portion of the SAT, and so after a round of chemotherapy, he retook the SAT, and he scored a perfect 800 on the math portion. Incredible young man. And so what his parents did was come together, and his family, and at Brett's urging, to come up with a charity bike ride now that hundreds of people participate in every October in Hickory, North Carolina. And even folks like me that aren't great bike riders or particularly athletic participate in Brett's honor. And each year they're able to raise tens of thousands of dollars for rhabdo research. And I tell this story because it's very important. Brett's story is a very important one and inspiring to so many of us. But while Brett was diagnosed early and still insisted on going off to college at the University of Virginia, he did lose his fight to rhabdo in 2006. And Brett left a letter for us that we read every October at Brett's Ride for Rhabdo. And he left this letter that he dictated to a friend of his, and he calls it a challenge for friends of Brett Baxley Gosnell. He says, "I'm not here physically, but I'm looking down from heaven on this assembled group. I challenge you to adopt a new goal, a new way of life for yourself. Put helping, caring about, and serving others at the center of all that you do, and not just for today or tomorrow, but for the remainder of your life. I ask you to look for ways in which to make a difference in the lives of others, regardless of who they are or where you find them. They are God's children, and they need us. We must turn away from thinking only of ourselves and remember that each one of us has a capacity for doing something. Discover what you can do and do it. I ask you to do that. But there's something else. In the act of helping others, think of this. It was my desire to make a difference, and I tried to do that in the opportunities that were given to me. There was so much more that I wanted to do, but I'll keep my eye on you from heaven. Now, pick up where I left off and serve so many others. Hear this plea and respond to it. This is your friend who asks you to accept this challenge. Do something meaningful with your life. After all, that's how you can most honor me and my life. Signed, Brett. I bring this up, and I bring this to the House floor to urge my colleagues to ensure that we support important pediatric research so that we don't have to lose another Brett Gosnell.
The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from California.